Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzzWeaver channel and another review here on the channel. And with any product that I do review here on the channel, I ask you guys to consult your physician or medical professionals before you take any product that I review here. These are all based upon my own personal experiences, so I'm not endorsing, encouraging, or suggesting that any of these products are to treat or cure any known illness.
Starting things off, I wanted to go to the WebMD website because there can be a little bit of confusion and stigma when it comes to cannabidiol or CBD. If we come down here to this second paragraph, we can see that the passage of the 2018 Farm Bill made it legal to sell hemp and hemp products in the United States. What this bill allowed farmers to do is grow both the hemp plant as well as the cannabis plant. Think of them as two different breeds within the same species. So CBD is going to be extracted from the hemp plant using a CO2 process. Cannabidiol is most commonly used for seizure disorder or epilepsy. It is also used for anxiety, pain, a muscle disorder called dystonia, Parkinson's disease, Crohn's disease, and many other conditions. But there is no good scientific evidence to support these uses. So as I say, always consult your medical professional or medical professionals. They know your history, they know your background, they know your drug interactions. So if you're considering using cannabidiol CBD, by all means, please consult your physician before usage. Moving over to side effects, I wanted to give you guys an idea of what you could possibly expect after taking the product. So when taken by mouth, cannabidiol is possibly safe when taken by mouth or sprayed under the tongue appropriately. Now, the key word here, of course, is appropriately, and I would strongly recommend that you take it according to the directions, because I would take a full dropper in the morning, maybe 5 to 8 drops in the afternoon, and then one in the evening, which is well beyond what is recommended. So keep in mind here, too, that CBD does have a plateau point, which means that more does not necessarily mean better. So there is a drop-off point for some of the way that it works within your body. Some reported side effects of cannabidiol include dry mouth, low blood pressure, lightheadedness, and drowsiness. Signs of liver injury have also been reported in some patients, but this is less common. I would say that the liver injury and liver testing that doctors do is going to be more towards those that are taking the prescription-based CBD. So always consult your physician before taking this product, especially if you have any blood pressure issues or experiencing vertigo or other types of conditions, because I have experienced the sensation of low blood pressure. When I get that feeling, I do check my blood pressure to make sure everything is okay. And typically I have gotten readings that are well within the normal range, as well as resting heart rate. I do get some of the lightheadedness from time to time. And of course, because it also works as a very good sleep aid, you might experience the drowsiness. When you first get up in the morning, I think it's with each of the particular potencies that I took, I did feel kind of drowsy when I first woke up in the morning, but once I kind of started my day and started doing things, I felt a little bit more clear. In other words, I didn't have the sense of fogginess, which you can experience sometimes, as well as it's really good. All potency levels are very good for those morning body aches and kind of pains or discomforts that you might have from having slept awkwardly or maybe done some yard work or some other activity. So it can serve as a very good post-workout product, as well as for soreness. This is the NuLeaf Naturals website where I placed my order of full spectrum hemp CBD oil. Don't get overly concerned with some of these numeric conversions. I actually had to contact them to kind of get a better understanding of what they mean. I would just say stay focused on what the bottle actually contains, and that is, it is a 300 milligram potency, 30 milligram serving size. Now, I'm going to post an image right here on the screen for you so you guys can get a better idea of scale. This 1.7 fluid ounce bottle is quite small in comparison to a full fluid ounce or 30 milliliters. Unfortunately, I can't get the 300 potency in the 1 fluid ounce. However, this is the bottle that it comes in, and if you take it as directed, you might probably get as many as 10 to 12 days out of it. I kind of took a little more than was recommended, so it only lasted me about 8 days. So by all means, make sure you're taking the product according to the directions. At the bottom of the NuLeaf Naturals website, you'll find a batch and lot lookup for your product. Whatever brand you decide to go with, make sure that they have some sort of lab research link for you so that you'll know what is actually in your product. This is going to be very important for those that in their workplace or say are competitive athletes. You're going to want to know exactly what is in the product that you ordered. Now keep in mind this is full spectrum, so it will have THC, but you can see the different compounds and levels here. So if you need to present this to your medical doctor, they're going to get a very clear and concise outline of what is actually in your product. This can be a lot to process for some people, understanding what all these things are, how it works within the body. That's why I included those links below this video so they can kind of break it down for you and give you some idea of what this all means.
Here's my packaging from NuLeaf. The 1.7 fluid ounce bottle. It is quite small. It is 5 milliliters for you guys in Canada, if you guys are considering making a purchase here from the United States. And what's interesting about this particular potency, the 300 milligram, is that from what I've read and from what I have heard, there was an anecdotal experiment done down in Brazil where they took a group of volunteers and told them that they would be presenting a public speaking speech so as to kind of raise a little bit of their social anxiety to find just the right potency that would allow them to feel comfortable and at ease while doing their public speaking. And what they found was that 300 milligrams seems to be the dialed in sweet spot for the product. And I would have to say that I totally agree, because really my pursuit of this was to find something that was a really good mood balancer. Now, I know many of you may be watching this who may suffer from anxiety or depression, PTSD, chronic pain, or looking for perhaps some form of sleep aid. Now, it's important to remember here that although there are a lot of wonderful things about CBD, I like to try to keep things within perspective and kind of give you like what my particular personal experience was with the product, and then you can adapt it to yourself. I will just say this right off the bat. For those of you with chronic pain, I would have to say that the 300 milligram probably is not going to be what you should be pursuing. Now, I will do future videos on higher potencies of CBD, so you might want to stay around for that. Or when you're doing your research, look into the higher potencies, because each one of these particular potencies, 300, 500, 900 to 1.5K, which is what I have taken also, there are different characteristics to each of these. But for me personally, the 300 is the perfect mood balance. So I would say for those with maybe social anxiety, maybe those who may be going through a difficult week or month, and I really can't say a whole lot for you guys out there with PTSD. I empathize with your situation. Perhaps the soothing, calming, tranquil aspect to 300 could be a good choice for you. It is a good starting point for anyone, I would say, if you're just wanting to get started, because as you can see here, it's a very small bottle. I typically go for the 300 milliliter or the 1 ounce product. I wish NuLeaf had 300 in a full ounce. I really do, because it is my favorite. And of course, you can only get it in the 1.7 if you order it from NuLeaf, but it is a great start, and I would definitely recommend it for you guys that are trying to get into the CBD product and try it out for your particular condition. Now, as far as a sleep aid, 300 does a pretty good job as far as what I can tell when I was taking it. Now, for the most part, I don't have a lot of trouble staying asleep once I get there. Sometimes I have a little bit of difficulty with getting to sleep, because I do enjoy my coffees in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, and then I might even have a few Diet Cokes or diet beverages in the evening that have caffeine, so it can kind of keep me a little bit awake or alert. Of course, I do a lot of recording sometimes with my guildmates at night, so I have a little extra caffeine to kind of get me through. But I would say that overall, even with aspects of caffeine, it didn't seem to disrupt or impede or interfere with the sense of ease and calm and tranquility that I experienced with the 300. Now, of course, in other videos where I review products for mood balance, I have found that caffeine has been kind of the greater interference of that sort of sensation that I kind of anticipate to have. Now, this could be just me, because a lot of this is going to be based upon your weight and your metabolism, and those aspects are all going to be very important for you. You can always contact NuLeaf or any of the particular brands. I have found that NuLeaf and others are very responsive. They're very professional. They've answered many of my questions, took the time to break down different aspects of it. It's kind of the technical things that I was talking about earlier that you guys can learn from these particular individuals that I will link below the video. So these were kind of things that I wanted to look into myself before I took the product. As I encourage you guys, before you take anything, be sure to do as much research as possible on the product. But as far as the 300 milligrams, I think this is an excellent place to start. Now I'd like to address some of the more common questions that people may have about hemp oil, or CBD in this particular case, full spectrum. And that is, can you get high? No, you cannot, because it comes from the hemp plant, the CO2 process extraction of the oil from hemp, and not cannabis. Cannabis has the higher THC, or the psychoactive property, tetrahydrocannabinol. So no, you can't get high from CBD oil, although I would say that the full spectrum provides a more robust characteristic, but I've not tried one that isn't full spectrum. So also, for those of you who have a place of work, or maybe you're a competitive athlete, or even a competitive gamer, if there is any sort of testing, I would say feel free to contact whatever brand you're looking at making the purchase from and kind of ask them. Now, again, I am not a medical professional. I can only give you my opinion from what I have read and seen and heard, and that is that your body will metabolize this fairly quickly depending on your weight, of course, your metabolism. So I would say contact whatever brand you're considering purchasing from and ask them about that specifically. So what can you anticipate from it once you make your order? Now, this particular order that I had from NuLeaf, this is it isn't unflavored nor is it flavored. So it's just kind of the standard extracted hemp oil. It has a very earthy flavor to it. The best way, I guess, for me to describe it would be the smell of wet dirt. For you gardeners or individuals who lay sod or work out in the yard, you guys kind of know what that wet dirt smell is like. That's kind of like the initial flavor that it has. And then the aftertaste, ironically enough to me, kind of has this flavor of a virgin oil with a little tiny bit of oregano. It's really strange, but it's not overwhelming. And if it does kind of become an issue for you, just have something to drink afterwards. And I find that for the most part, if you just drink water, it usually clears a lot of it away. The flavor or the taste or the aftertaste does not hang around for very long. Every once in a while, particularly at night when I take it, if I don't have anything to drink, I might get a little parched sensation in my throat. But as far as any sort of side effect or other aspects to it, I will say this for you guys that will be watching this on the higher potencies. I did not find that the 300 had any sort of detox effect as opposed to some of the higher products. So, or higher potencies, I should say. And as far as what is the 300 target audience, I would say for the 300, and I would say it's going to be for those who are more in the mood balance, kind of stress relief area. I think those of you guys who have anxiety or depression or PTSD or even chronic pain, I would say consult your physician if you are considering, say, a prescription-based CBD, because that may be more helpful to you. Because again, I don't have any particular issues with these. That's not to suggest that I don't have days where I'm a little anxious or maybe even having a rough week or a rough month. However, I find that the 300 is really going to be more of your initial starting area for you guys. But specifically for you guys out there like me who are looking for that nice mood balance, I think 300 is going to be a very excellent choice for you. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this review of NuLeaf CBD Full Spectrum Oil. And if you guys have any particular questions that I may not have covered or mentioned, of course, there are usually a lot of them sometimes. So I just try to cover the basics and try to give you an idea of what my personal experience was and what the target audience is for the product. But by all means, if you do have questions about it, you can leave them down below the video and I'll do my best to answer them. Of course, I may direct you to the actual brands that you may be considering ordering from and have them answer the questions, as they have the professionals and the resources to kind of answer those questions. Now, I will leave links again below this video to individuals that can give you a more rounded about technical, medical, biological aspect of the product and how it responds to the body and what you may expect from it. But nonetheless, guys, I want to thank all of you for your continued support, your likes, your shares, and your comments. And appearing right there on the screen, that would be the channel icon to subscribe, along with notifications, as I will be doing more of these videos in the future. And I will see you guys next time right there behind the camera.